know what it's doing. I'm trying to make a video here for people my age, late 50s, early 60s, who simply don't want the expense of Botox and all this garbage they're trying to put in your face that isn't good for you. I got problems going on here. So I investigated. My niece helped me investigate the situation. Now, I have really bad scarring on my skin from shingles. I had shingles about a dozen times on the left side of my face here. And I am working with a dermatologist right now to help try and correct some of it. We're using Retin, and then I'm working with a gal who's in the, she's like an esthetician, I guess you would call her. She's got me using the Obagi system, and I just started it. And she said, give it 3 months and see how that works out in 3 months. And I know they do a blue peel, but she said no, she just wants to watch and see what happens, because she thinks that it's going to help immensely. So in the meantime, I can't wear any lotions or fragrances or cosmetics. I react to them horribly. And so I did some investigating. I actually came home here with, I don't know what's going on, but that lag there. I came home with some Christian Dior foundation that the gal helped me with the other day. Well, we were sitting next to the perfume counter, so I'm not thinking there's perfume in the stuff you put on your face, right? Well, no, I was wrong. So I get home and I can still smell perfume, but I think, well, maybe it overspray from the counter over there. Well, anyhow, it turned out it had foundation in it, which I was not pleased with because it felt like silk on my skin. It was just wonderful. So, look at peanut butter on my lip. Anyhow, so I returned it, and I came home and I was investigating, and Estee Lauder doesn't have fragrance in theirs, but their foundations are either real chalky or they're real oily, and they crease from what I could tell as far as reviews on the internet. And I asked the gal who sells Estee Lauder. She didn't know, and she was quite old. I think she's been there a long time. She should know whether it does or not. She just didn't want to say. But anyhow, she should know her product, in my opinion, and she didn't. So I ended up talking to my niece, and she said, look into Laura Mercier. Excuse me. I was outside and I got kind of a cold, and it's chilly willy out there. Anyhow, so I looked into it. She said the tinted moisturizer. So I looked on the internet and I thought, yeah, and it's got great reviews. So then I ended up also looking at their foundation that's called Photo Edition. And so I went out to Nordstrom's, went to Nordy's last night, and picked out my colors, which I felt for the overall, the whole line tends to lean toward yellow. There's very few that will accommodate So I don't know, it seems like I don't know why they have gone so yellow in that line. But I did find Cameo Rose. Was it Cameo Rose? And the moisturizer was Cameo in the, that's right, the moisturizer I got, it's a moisturizing tint. I got that in the Cameo Rose. No, Cameo. And then the foundation, the photo edition, I got that in Rose Ivory. So I was able to get something to match my skin. People always look at me and want to put dark makeup on me because they just assume my skin is darker than what it really is. Probably because of the dark hair and dark eyebrows and eyes and what have you. But I run porcelain. The Estee Lauder lady, they have some, I don't know what it is, some little wand thing they put up on your cheek and it reads your skin. And she said, "Oh, you do come up porcelain." She didn't buy it when I told her that. Anyhow, I didn't end up getting Estee Lauder nonetheless. It was kind of interesting that she had this little tool that actually read, the color of your skin. So anyhow, I brought home the Laura, and I love it. My skin just feels so nourished from it, and not heavy. Doesn't feel like a mask. Doesn't feel oily, doesn't feel cakey. Now I have a lot of flaky cakey going on my face because of the Retin A, and it's at that point where probably in the next couple days it should exfoliate pretty good. Um, I was using just it, with my moisturizer, and I was getting raw red welts all over my face, and I was reacting to everything. So I ended up getting the Estee Lauder Nighttime Repair. Now the reason I got that was I had used that particular product faithfully for probably 10 years in my 30s into my early 40s. That's all I used. I mean, people would ask me what I was using on my skin. That was the only thing that I was using other than cleansing it. So I knew that it worked really well, and I knew that I didn't have to worry about any untoward ingredient that I would react to. And so I did pick that up, and I picked their eye, because they have an eye gel, nighttime repair eye gel as well. So I picked those two up because I can't find anything I can put around my eyes. I mean, Clinique, they even gave me some, I don't know which one it was, of their eye creams, and I woke up and my eyes were just puffed up like balloons. And I've tried, you know, every kind of organic, you name it, I've tried it. Outside of coconut oil or, something like that, jojoba, which ends up drying me out and then getting in my eyes and making them watery and swell. So it's kind of a, catch-22 for me as far as, what kind of products I can use on my skin. So it turns out that I have no problem with the Estee Lauder line at all. Um, so anyhow, I put that on and I started the Obagi with the Retin A, and so far so good. I'm not getting big red welty raw spots on my skin or overly dry and dehydrated. So it's all working good. So I'll have to update in 3 months. What I wanted to do was have no foundation on and show you my skin before and after with Laura Mercier's foundation. Just that in itself was a huge difference. I feel like, anyhow. And I have, in my opinion, I have, really messed up skin. I used to have very nice skin prior to the shingles and have nary a flaw on my face. I mean, I had a couple tiny flaws, but that was about it. And this, I mean, I'm just wrecked all through this, all the way down. I tend to break out in shingles here, and then it comes up around through my head here and wraps down around my face like that. On occasion, it's shot up that way. You've got three major nerves. It's called the trigeminal nerve in your face, and I have hit all three nerves. The shingle virus hit all three nerves. Not all at the same time, but I can't get the vaccine because I had it when I was young. I was hospitalized for like 5 days because it was all over my head and face and around my eye. So anyhow, and then, I'm aging, so my skin is getting more slack. It doesn't have the tone that it used to have. Now, what the dermatologist told me is that the only proven way of building collagen, new collagen in your skin is Retin. He said that's the only thing that will do that. There is nothing else that can build collagen in your skin. So this is good news for me because I need some plumping up in my, I'm starting to, age. And I don't want to get a facelift. I mean, if I did, sure, it'd be helpful, but for how long? All that does is stretch your skin out. I mean, maybe, when I'm 65 or something and I need to, that even makes me look a lot younger, but I'm not so much concerned about looking young because I am 56. So, in 6 months I'll be 57. So, you're not going to look 20. You're not going to look 30. You might be lucky if you look 40 when you're 60. I would highly doubt that anybody could even pass for 40 at 60 because there are too many telltale signs as you age. Who the hell cares how old you look? It's how you feel and how well you've taken care of your body and your skin and your attitude. But nobody wants to walk around with scars all over their skin at any age, I don't think. And I never had to wear well, I used to wear makeup because I loved wearing makeup when I was young. I had fun with it. And so, you had all the different fun things that you do when you're young with makeup, cosmetics. And then I went probably maybe my mid-30s through just recently where I didn't wear any cosmetics at all. I didn't need any. I would just curl my eyelashes and put a little lip gloss or lipstick on and out the door I went. Now things have changed drastically and now I need it. Well, I've needed it for several years. It's just I've been adamantly opposed to investing in any cosmetics because I thought maybe I could get things turned around on my skin, but now I've just got too much damage. And sun damage that's showing up, little spots here and there, and some hyperpigmentation, which is from, that's what it's from. I used to worship the sun. I mean, severe days on end, hours on end. Lived out in that sun with baby oil on. No sunscreens, no. Pure baby oil. All slathered from head to toe. For decades. Now, did it totally destroy my skin? No, because my skin still looks in fairly good shape considering the abuse it went through with the tanning. So I don't know if, sun is that damaging to skin or whether it's the diet and hydration levels while you're tanning. And, I used to sit with, big jugs of ice water and drink and drink and drink tons of water when I was outside. And I've always, eaten fairly healthy. I didn't sit and drink and, sunbathe. I mean, I could see all that just frying your skin inside from the inside out because you have no cell turnovers when you're putting poison in your body. And then you're hitting it with the sun, which is drying it out. So I tend to think people who have the most amount of damage to their skin from the sun, worshiping the sun, had to have been doing something more than just being out in the sun a lot. Because I lived out there. Even when I wasn't suntanning, I lived outside. Um, so, I mean, probably I could have saved some of the pigmentation, freckling, and spots, and a little bit of the, you know, wrinkling, but I think it's negligible, personally. So now, nowadays you've got sun that's 100 times more potent, and I don't understand why, but I go out there and, it's hellacious. I mean, you're out there 45 minutes and you're burned, and I don't burn. I don't burn at all. Even in this hot sun, I'm not going to burn, but I can tell that it's too strong. So anyhow, I have to use a sunscreen on my face and try and preserve its integrity as well as I can from this age onward. I mean, I will still sit out in the sun and I will still get my vitamin D. Not going to give up the sun because, vitamin D is critical, to your health. So you have to do this. You do have to get sun. So just do it in moderation. Um, and don't drink while you're out there. Don't drink alcohol. Drink a lot of water. Hydrate well. Use a good moisturizer when you come in. And you should be okay. That's for the young people, which I don't suspect young people really want to. They have other videos to watch. I'm talking about women 55 plus. Those are the products I recommend, though, that you try if you have sensitive skin. I know there's a lot of other lines out there that have really great products, but this is where I'm starting, and that's with the Estee Lauder Nighttime Repair, for the face and the around the eyes. The Obagi system, if you can afford it, it is expensive because you have to pay for all of it at once, and I think there's 7 or 8 products. Well, there would be 8 because the vitamin C is a separate component. But you want the vitamin C. So, it's probably about $400 and some dollars, give or take, depending on if, your local skincare consultant has a deal going on or will give you 20% off or, something like that. But Claudia told me what I've got here will last 3 months. It should get me through 3 months. So that's a good thing. Now, I did try from the dermatologist the Skin Medica TMF serum, TNF serum. I broke out in hives. I mean, I had hives all over, and I was getting really red and blotchy and hot in spots. Like, I don't know. I reacted to something in that. I don't know what. But anyhow, so they're going to return that. for me, but they're going to give me different product in exchange for it, so I don't actually get my money back for that. But I just told them to give me the Obagi C serum in a body lotion, and that should be fine. It's products I'll use. I, use vitamin C serum on and off probably for about 6 years, but more off than on because I just haven't had a good skincare routine going on other than just to wash it and go to bed, let it ride, do whatever. But my skin's dry at this age. It's really dry, so it really did need some pampering. And then I started getting some hair, and I've got some pigmentation here. I don't know what I'm gonna, I'm hoping once it exfoliates, it'll calm down there. But anyhow, I tried the threading, and it works great. It's tricky. It's tricky as heck. Probably take me a few more times before I really get it down pat. But I tried a little bit up here on my eyebrow on the outer brows, and it worked great. But I think it would work better if you actually had somebody helping you, because you do, especially like when I was doing around my mouth here, and I'm sitting there like, with this thing and trying to keep the skin taut, and it would be better if you had somebody helping where they could actually hold it while you did it, or I'm not sure. Maybe it's just awkward trying to get accustomed to doing it yourself, but I had never had it done. I had never seen it done. I just looked at some YouTube videos and I thought, well, I can do that. You don't want to use regular cotton thread, though. It's got to be pretty heavy thread. I have a lot of thread because I sew, and I ended up taking a heavy duty thread that you would sew canvas with, and I used that because first I tried the regular, cotton, the stuff I would sew, say quilts or, clothing or tablecloths or, whatever, drapery. That's not going to work. It breaks and it's not strong enough. So anyhow, I got the strong stuff out, and I could see that that would be an awesome way to do this. Now, I know a lot of people do waxing, and I had it done minimally when I was in my late 30s. I think I had it done 3 times, and I'm telling you, I could see immediately that it was destroying my skin. It's really, really, I think it's really damaging to the skin. I don't know that anybody says that or anybody recognizes that, but I did because I didn't have those kind of problems with my skin, so I could see it immediately, the kind of damage that it was doing in the mirror. So I steered clear of it. Not that I really even needed it back then. It was just the thing to do. Oh my God. Wax the hair off your lip, wax your eyebrows. Nope, don't think so. So I like the threading. I think that's probably the most effective and safe way of removing hair without damaging your skin. Now, I have seen the girls are into shaving their faces. I don't know. When we grew up, we were told the more you shave, the more hair you're going to grow. Well, these gals are claiming, no, that's a myth. That's not going to happen unless you have high testosterone in your body, which makes sense. Estrogen's effect is that it keeps you from growing body hair like that. So if you have enough estrogen in your body, now if you're my age, you're probably going through menopause and your body's trying to store estrogen, and you will put on weight because that is how your body's going to store that estrogen that you're going to need to ride you out through your, later your winter years. And I see so many women freak out and try and bring their estrogen levels down when they're going through menopause and upset because they're putting on weight and get thin, and then they get gaunt and their skin gets wrinkled and their bones start deteriorating. Don't do it. Do not do it. Allow your body to get a good 10 pounds on. I mean, if you're not overweight already, another 10 pounds when you're going through menopause is really actually pretty crucial to holding on to some of that estrogen so the body can just store it for future use, which is what it's doing. And they aren't going to tell you that. Oh, you're estrogen dominant. It's a bunch of bullshit. I've seen so many websites on this that it's just mind-boggling to me that women are even falling for this crap. I can tell you for a fact, I had a hysterectomy when I was 24, so I have been on estrogen almost my whole life. I mean, I was young. And then all this crap about Premarin, and that's what I used. That was the only thing I could use. I had no problems, none at all. And all these, all this hysteria surrounding estrogen and Premarin and all this kind of stuff. So I went and, investigated into bioidentical hormones in like early 2000, like 2001. And I really investigated and I thought, well, maybe I should try this. Maybe long term this isn't good, whatever, all this garbage that they're saying, although it just wasn't quite adding up, and they always give you only half the truth. And what I had investigated at the library in the medical books compared to what they were telling you in the news and in articles and on websites was not the same as what I had read in the medical dictionaries, right? So anyhow, in 2003, I think it was, I finally found a doctor who put me on bioidentical hormone. And the cream in my body would not, it was like at the bottom of the rung. It would not, the levels of estrogen never went up. They just wouldn't budge. She said, you're not using it, you're metabolizing it so rapidly. So let's do the pill form, bioidentical pill form. Well, all I did was get headaches from it constantly. So I kind of let the estrogen slide on and off for the last 10 years. I've really not barely used it much because I'd go back and they'd put me on a different one. Then I try a sublingual one, and then I try a patch, and then I try a gel, and oh, we've got this estrogen, and well, we've got that estrogen. And I'd go on it for about a month and a half or two, and I'd just get headaches, horrible, and I'd get swollen up. And my levels would never raise up, despite all this. I mean, they just wouldn't go up. Finally, I called her a couple months ago and I said, I need to go back on Premarin. That's what's going on here. This has got to stop. And so we put me back on the Premarin. And the difference in my system, the amount of inflammation that I had prior to, I have virtually no inflammation. Now, because estrogen is protective. It's protective to your arteries, your circulatory system, your heart, your bones. Every system in your body relies on this estrogen, and they're making it a demon. They want you to be terrified of estrogen. It's wrong. It is wrong to try and bring down your own estrogen or avoid foods that would increase your estrogen. You're a freaking woman for the crying in the night. Yes, there are bad estrogens. There are these estrogens, I guess they call them, that are toxic. But overall, if you're getting enough of your own estrogen, enough healthy estrogen, and it's supported through your diet, you're not going to start collecting these bad estrogens because your receptors are already going to be full. So they'll just reject it. I mean, that's kind of a flimsy way of putting it, and it's a lot more involved than that. But I mean, for the average person, do not fall for this stuff, I'm telling you. It's garbage. I don't know why they want to take your estrogen away. I don't know why they want to make you feel like you're getting too much. But I'm telling you, you're not getting enough, probably. Most of you who are underweight certainly aren't getting enough estrogen. So anyhow, that's where that's at. Um, like I said, heart health, circulation, all that. Mental fog lifts when you're getting the right amount of estrogen. You sleep right. Your head's in the right spot. Life looks good. When your estrogen levels plummet, I can tell you, you're just like a walking zombie. It's horrible. It's a horrible place to be. You're depressed, but not really depressed. You're just like something's oppressing your system, like you have an elephant sitting on you. Your energy goes down. you know, for me anyhow. I mean, I had so many health issues going on. I thought, my God, I have primary immune deficiency, but none of that included all of these things. And yeah, I ended up getting Lyme, but even that, um, some of the stuff that I was experiencing was not related to the Lyme either. And I thought, this has got to be, this is hormonal. I'm not getting enough estrogen, and my bones are deteriorating on the count of it. So I went back on the Premarin, and my estrogen, it just hit the ceiling. I haven't had it tested, but I can tell you it's up where it needs to be. So even though this is about new skin products or skincare products, it's also about your health, because that's where it starts. We're not going to be 30 or 40. Every day we live, we're dying. That's just how life works. That is how our bodies work. There is no fountain of youth. There is no, oh, I'm going to preserve this. Get over it and get on with life and enjoy life, and do your best to look your best, and don't worry about anything as far as aging, because aging should be fun and freeing and having a good time, and not worrying about all those things you did when you were 20, 30, maybe even into your 40s, where fashion and how you looked and all these things were at the top of your list. They're not, because that isn't who makes you who you are. That's only the surface value of who you are. So piss on the rest of the world and go have fun. Get a boo. I do the salted caramel budino. I call it a Houdini. I love it. I drink decaf though, but if you can handle caffeine, go for it. But it's a good drink. Um, yeah, I will come back and I will do a demonstration and show my skin the before and after with the foundation. I mean, I don't know if it's that drastic, but for me it is, because it detracts from, it deflects the scar. I mean, you can see some of the scarring here. But nothing like what it looks like when I don't have the foundation on. Um, See, even right here a little bit. Um, so it's not like, oh, it's just gone and nobody's gonna see it. No, but the overall feel and look of my skin is so much brighter and more even, and not so dry, looking, because it just gives a nice moist glow without being oily and heavy and feeling like you've got a mask on your face. So So yeah, do it. All right, have a good day.